My name is Jenny Kimball. I am the College and Career Advising Program Manager with the Office of the State Board of Education. I just wanted to do a quick check-in with everybody, just to, unfortunately, because we can't do this in person and I can't really even see most of your faces, just would love to kind of get a sense of how you're doing, how you're feeling during this first week back, or maybe second week for some of you. I'm going to put up a quick question that we can all answer in real time. It's a tool that I used to use with my students when I was a counselor, and just wanted to share it with you so you have it as a resource in case you want to use it as well. Go to Menti.com and you're going to enter the code that you see at the top of the screen. And it's going to ask you to describe your week so far in one word. So you can just type in your one word, and then we should start to see a word cloud create as people are typing in their words. So give you just a minute to get there and type that word in. Awesome. There might be a few of you who are still adding to this, but again, I just wanted to share this as a tool that you might use with your students. Like I said, when I would present to my students last year, I used this tool quite a bit just to keep it engaging. Even if the presentation was in person, this is something you can have them do in class. And the students really seem to like to be able to see that word cloud appear in real time. So kind of just a fun tool. It's Mentimeter.com is the tool that you can use for that. And it's free. You don't have to pay for the account or anything like that. But it's just a fun way to kind of gauge where people are at. You can ask polling questions. You can ask short-ended questions, or open-ended questions, or do a word cloud like this. So thank you so much for sharing. It sounds like overall, excited to be back, but definitely busy. I like the word blast off. That's a fun one. So thanks again for sharing. Come back to our screen here. Perfect. So thanks again for doing that check-in with us. And I just wanted to welcome everyone to this webinar. We are focused today on sharing some professional development opportunities for all of our college and career advisors, counselors, educators, whoever might be joining us today. We know that oftentimes, if you are the one responsible for promoting college and career readiness in your school, that professional development in that area can be hard to come by. Oftentimes district trainings and school trainings do not address college and career and do not train you properly for what you need to do your job well. So our goal is to share some resources with you today, some that you've maybe known about and others that hopefully are going to be new, that can help you do your job to the best of your ability. So we did want to start with our own Next Steps Idaho website. We are going to have a more in-depth training scheduled for later this fall on our website, and a lot of the features that we have on our website, and I'll be mentioning that later in the presentation. But I do want to make sure that you at least have one page that you can go to if you want to find resources on the Next Steps Idaho website. And it's not exactly as intuitive as we'd like it to be. So we're going to take just a minute to make sure that you are aware of our For Educators page and that that's the place that you would want to go. So again, I'm going to share a new screen really quickly. Do our Next Step Idaho. So our Next Steps Idaho homepage, hopefully you've seen the website. Many of you probably used it before. This is the homepage, and to get to the one resource that we really want you to just be aware of today, because it is a little bit confusing, if you go to the the main menu, which are those 3 white lines up at the top, you're going to see kind of what we call our mega menu. And that's always the hard part about websites that have a ton of resources, is that sometimes it's hard to find what you're looking for. So for today, what we would love to leave you with, if you learn nothing else, is that when you go to this website, what we want you to click on is the tab that says For Educators. And for many of you, that's going to feel strange because you're going to see this other tab that says For Counselors, Advisors, and Mentors. And many of you identify with being a counselor or an advisor, and so it seems intuitive to click on that one. However, the resources that we think are going to be most relevant to what you're doing are going to be under the For Educators tab. So really quickly, just to show you that For Educators page, and feel free, if you're on your computer right now, you can navigate to this and you can see it on your own. But the For Educators page is really designed for college and career professionals, whether you're a counselor or an advisor, whatever your role might be. If you're teaching a college and career class, this is really going to be your one-stop shop. So here, the first tab you'll see is what we call the latest. And really, this is just updates, things that we put out periodically just to let you know what's going on in the state, anything new and exciting that you might want to be aware of. There's also the Curriculum and Resources tab. And this will take you to some of our lesson plans that we have available. We actually have 30 different lesson plans that you can use with handouts, PowerPoint slides, activities that you could use with students in class. And so on the Curriculum and Resources tab, you'll see some of those that you can link to and go check out. We also have our Ambassadors tab, and the Next Steps Idaho Ambassadors program is really designed to help you feel connected to other people in your region who are doing the job that you're doing. It can be kind of isolating, as you all know, because you're usually the only one in your building doing what you're doing. So this is a great way to connect with people in your region and bounce ideas, share resources. So the ambassadors are listed here in this section. And then we also have the Professional Development tab. And those are some different things that we're going to be talking about today. But like I said, after this meeting, if it feels like this was overwhelming and you need to go back, this Professional Development tab would be a great place to go and check out some of the things that we talked about today. You can even register for some of the conferences that we're going to mention. So like I said, this is just one page on our website, and we will be providing more in-depth training on our website later in the school year. But really, just to get you started for the school year, we wanted to make sure that you know about this one really important tab, which is the For Educators page. So if you go nowhere else on the website, that's where we would direct you to start to find the best resources. All right, come back to my slide here. All right, so moving on, we also wanted to let you know about a really exciting partnership that we are engaging in. Some of you might have noticed in our newsletter that we sent out that next week's Ed Forum is going to be about something called Texas On-Course Academy. And this is really a result of what we heard from you. We had a lot of counselors and advisors tell us, you know, we just don't have the training around financial aid, the college application process. Like, we don't get trained on those things, and yet that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing with our students. And so what we did at the state board is we had created a partnership with a group called Texas On-Course. And what they did, they have created modules for counselors in their state. They're typically 1 hour in length on different topics around college and career readiness. And it's really the idea, the intent is to provide that training that you didn't get in grad school, and you didn't get probably in your bachelor's program, and you're probably not getting from your district or your school, but you need it. So next week's Ed Forum is going to be dedicated all to explaining the Texas On-Course Academy, how you can access it, and how you can register to engage in some of that training. It is completely free for Idahoans. to participate in this training. You will not have to pay. However, we are excited that we are able to offer professional development credit for those of you who might want it or need it. We have a partnership with NNU. So if you do want to earn credit, it's a $60 cost for that credit. However, if you don't want the credit, all the modules, all the training through Texas On-Course Academy will be free. So definitely make plans to join us next week during our Ed Forum to learn all about how you can access this free training. And if there's someone in your building who they want to learn more about financial aid or FAFSA or the college application process, they can take advantage of this as well. We have 1,000 licenses for people in Idaho to take advantage of this. So very exciting stuff. You will learn more next week in our Ed Forum. So speaking of our Ed Forums, we just wanted to quickly remind you of the Ed Forums that we have coming up. You can click on the link that Joan just put in the chat if you need to register for any of these Ed Forums. So just as a reminder, these Ed Forums are really an opportunity for us to be able to share out information, to train you on some initiatives of the state board. And we offer them at 2 different times because we know how busy you are. So every Ed Forum will be offered at 10 a.m. as well as 2 p.m. And you can choose the one that works best for your schedule. And then of course, we also record them so you can go back if something comes up, because I know things come up quite a bit. So next week, again, is that introduction to the Texas On-Course Academy. September 8th is going to be a really cool one. For those of you who have always thought, you know, I have a good population of students who maybe a 2-year or a 4-year college is not their path, but I want information about other opportunities. So our Ed Forum on September 8th is really going to focus on short-term training. So a lot of that workforce development training that students can engage in, maybe a 3-month training program or a 6-month training program that can get them skills and then out into the workforce. We're also going to talk about apprenticeship. I know for me, this was always an area as a counselor that I wanted to help students pursue, but I just really didn't know the process. So we're going to be also sharing with you how can you guide your students into that apprenticeship path. And then we're also going to have someone from the Workforce Development Council share with you all a program called Idaho Launch, which is, in my opinion, one of the coolest things that Idaho has right now available for your students. And so definitely mark September 8th down on your calendar. You won't want to miss that. It's some really great information for your students. On September 22nd, we will be doing an update on the direct admissions letter that will be going out to students and just the direct admission program and kind of any changes that have come up this year. And then we'll also be talking about updates to Apply Idaho. October is going to be here before we know it, and students will be able to use Apply Idaho to apply to all of their Idaho institutions. So we want to make sure that you feel comfortable rolling that out. And then on September 29th, we will be doing an update on Scholarship Idaho, which was rolled out last year. Scholarship Idaho was a new platform where students could apply for all the state managed scholarships like the Idaho Opportunity Scholarship. So some really great trainings over the next month. I know September is crazy busy for you. If there's any way you can make these trainings, I think it will be well worth your time. And then we wanted to have you save the date. We're very excited that we are able to, after a 2-year hiatus, bring back an in-person Next Steps Idaho training. So when I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation that we would have more in-depth training into our Next Steps Idaho website, this is that training. We're calling it a technical roadshow, and we will be traveling all over the state of Idaho to bring that training to you. So you can see the date and the locations up on the screen. So if you want to maybe jot that down in your calendar, find the institution that would be closest to where you live. And Joan just put the link in the chat for where you can actually register for the roadshow. We are capping these events at 40 participants for each location. And that's really because we know that we really want it to be interactive. We want you to get the most out of it. And so when it gets larger than 40, it gets a little bit harder to do that. So you will want to sign up for that as soon as you are able to. And like Joan mentioned in the chat, it is completely free to attend. So this is a great thing to take to your administrator and say, hey, free professional development. You don't even need to pay for it. And lunch will be provided as well. So we really hope that you can join us. We're going to be taking, like I said, an in-depth look into the website. We're going to be talking a lot about the scholarships that are managed by the state and Scholarship Idaho. We're going to be talking about the new counselor suite, which is going to replace FAFSA for those of you who have been using FAFSA to track your students' progress on their FAFSA. So it's going to be a great training. We hope you can join us. We will be sharing more information, but we just wanted to put this on your radar. All right, and to kind of break it up a little bit, we're going to actually turn it over to Lamaris Ortiz-Perez from the Hispanic Youth Council, and she's going to talk to us about the Hispanic Youth Leadership Summit. And some of you have probably heard of it, maybe you've participated in it or you've had students. So we want to just make sure that you're aware of the great things that they are doing. So I'm going to make sure that I give them the right rights to, let's see, it might even be, is Lamaris here? JJ, I know I see you here, and I did just give you a panelist rights. Are you able to share with us? Oh, hello.
So yeah, it's me, Lamaris, and we're all traveling, so we're all doing different meetings. So I took this one.
Awesome. I'm sorry I didn't put your name up on the screen.
You're totally fine. The Hispanic Youth Summit. This is our 17th year doing it. About 5 years ago, we started expanding it to 2 summits, and then last year we expanded it to 3 summits. And so we have one in the Treasure Valley, one in the Magic Valley, and one in Eastern Idaho. The first one, September 27th, at CSI. Then on October 5th, we have one at Idaho State University. And then on October 19th, it's going to be at the College of Idaho. And these summits, it's a one day full of workshops that focus on 3 areas. 3 areas are college prep, STEM, and leadership building. And so we have FAFSA workshops. We have a college fair at all of them. Last year, with the 3 summits combined, over $7.2 million was given out to Hispanic students from Idaho. So we're hoping to continue that momentum. The great thing that I love about this is the high school seniors apply for scholarships at this summit, and they find out by the end of the summit that they've received a scholarship. And so, and then we track those students to find out how many of them actually are going to be on a campus the following year. In addition to the scholarships, like I said, we focus on STEM. We want to see more of our students look at going into careers that are STEM related. So we have Micron comes in and does workshops, Idaho National Laboratory, Idaho Power, Hewlett Packard. They all come in and do workshops that focus on STEM. And then we do leadership building workshops as well. And then in addition to that, several of our students said they want to go into the health field and to law enforcement. So we work with local law enforcement agencies to do a workshop, and then St. Luke's and St. Alice come in and do workshops for us as well. And then we also always try to bring in a keynote speaker. But yeah, our big focus is college prep. And our goal at our agency is we want students to start seeing themselves on a college campus starting in 5th grade. We feel like that's when they need to start saying, okay, I want to see myself on campus. And that's why we host these summits on college campuses. And in the Treasure Valley this year, we moved it from Boise State to College of Idaho. And next year it'll probably be at NNU. And the reason for that is the Treasure Valley colleges asked if we would rotate them because they each want to host them on their campuses. And so we will continue to do that. And we thought that was a great opportunity to have kids visit different colleges and not the same college every year.
Awesome. Yeah, this is an amazing event. JJ, maybe you mentioned this. I just want to make sure. Is it limited space? Like, or do you cap it at a certain amount and like people need to sign up right away if they want to participate?
So we're almost at capacity at almost all of them, but there's still room left. So we will have 600 students at College of Idaho. We will have 800 students at CSI, and we will have a little bit over 400 students at ISU. And ISU, even though it's on ISU campus, it is co-hosted by ISU and CEI.
That's awesome. Very cool. So hopefully everybody saw it in the chat. Joan did post the website where you can register if you do want to take your students. It also has the dates for all 3 of the different summits. And if you want to reach out to Juan, you can his contact information is also on that website. Anything else? Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll see ya. Okay. So we will go ahead and conclude with a couple of other conferences and workshops that we just want to make sure everyone is aware of. So the annual Idaho College and Career Readiness Summit, for those of you who've maybe been around for a while, this kind of replaced the Advanced Opportunities conference that we used to do several years ago. So this is put on by the State Department of Education, and there are different ways to participate this year. It is October 6th and 7th, and those are like the main days. And then there's actually a pre-conference on the 5th of October, and then post-conference sessions for the entire week after the 7th. So lots of opportunities to get some really great training and information. And if you do prefer to do this in person, there are different regional events that are hosting watch parties. So you can get together with other college and career professionals to participate in this summit. The link to register, Joan just posted it in the chat. I know we're posting all kinds of links for you today. You can also Google Idaho College and Career Readiness Summit and you will definitely find it. But we want you to be aware that it's a great training. The other one that we want you to be aware of is the Idaho School Counselor Association. ISCA will be holding their annual conference on October 13th and 14th at Boise State. There is a virtual option on October 12th. So that's another one that you can sign up for this year. And then many of you might work at a Gear Up school, so you might be familiar with this, but Gear Up is a federally funded program. It's not in all schools across Idaho, but it's in many of our schools, and really focuses on students who are first in their families to go to college from limited income backgrounds. And they have amazing conferences. The last time Gear Up West was here in Boise, I want to say it was 2019 or 2018. I had the chance to go for a few days and it was incredible. It was one of the best trainings I think I'd ever been to. And it's really exciting because Jackie Deal, who is the coordinator for Gear Up here in Idaho, she is going to have a bus to Salt Lake City. And you could ride the bus for free if you want to join her and other counselors from around the state to attend the conference in Salt Lake City. So this is nice that it's a regional conference, but it's close by. And like I said, just an amazing professional development opportunity for you to take advantage of. So all of those links are in the chat. You can email Jackie Deal. Joan put her email address in the chat if you are interested in riding the bus and getting down to Salt Lake City. All right. And then we also want to make sure that you know about Counselor Days. You probably already received an email from Cecilia Magallon. She is from Idaho State University, and she is the Counselor Day Coordinator this year for IACRO. So for those of you who've been around for a while, you know about Counselor Days. If you're brand new, Counselor Days are a great opportunity for you to learn about the different updates from our Idaho institutions. So all of the public, private, 2-year, 4-year colleges in Idaho will come together on this one day and share updates about what's happening at their university. It's a really great time to learn and to connect with other counselors, and you will also walk away with a lot of information from each institution to take back to your school, posters and pamphlets and all that good stuff, all the swag that they give out. So if you did not receive an email from Cecilia, it may be that you switched schools or you're new. We do have the link to register for Counselor Days that Joan just posted. In Eastern Idaho, it's going to be at BYU, Idaho this year. In the Magic Valley, it will be at College of Southern Idaho. For the folks here in the Treasure Valley, it's going to be at Boise Bible College this year. And then on the 15th, it will be at Lewis Clark State College in Lewiston. And then for North Idaho, up at NIC in Coeur d'Alene. So hopefully you can, I know some of you are in very remote places. You might have to drive a bit to get to one of these, but it is hopefully well worth your time to attend. And so we definitely want you to be aware of that. I'm going to share it over to Joan Cleary, who's our outreach coordinator, and she's just going to close us out with a couple of reminders and updates.
Yeah, thanks, Jenny. As she said, I'm the outreach coordinator for Next Steps Idaho, and that's what I'm going to remind you about. Next Steps Idaho is on Twitter and Facebook. We target parents of students in grades 8 through 12 on those platforms, so please consider just throwing that out to the parents of your students. It's a really helpful passive way for them to stay informed. Instagram is specifically for the students themselves, and YouTube has something for everyone. If you haven't updated your preferences, or if you're not already subscribed to the newsletter, I'm going to drop that in the chat. Please do. Jenny, if you go to the next slide. So one of the things that you would get if you update your preferences and you're already subscribed to the newsletter is that monthly Next Steps Idaho newsletter. And this year, our office is really keen to put you, all Idaho college and career counselors, in the spotlight. So we want to have you nominate a colleague or a peer or a mentor, and please, please, please nominate yourselves. Sharing your light will really help others get a better grasp of what career readiness looks like in Idaho. So we want to put you in the spotlight. So please help us do that. Email info@nextsteps.idaho.gov. And then lastly, if you could move ahead. Perfect. The deadline for the Next Steps Idaho Ambassador Program, which Jenny touched on earlier, is actually next Wednesday, August 31st. If you haven't considered it or looked at it, open up the application. I just put the link in the chat. There's just 15 really short questions. The expectations are basically it's a 10-month term from September to June. It's 8 to 12 hours a month. And tasks include some outreach, attending some events. And at minimum, ambassadors receive a stipend of $1,900. And this year, we're really looking for out-of-the-box thinkers, folks interested in improving like the efficacy and the impact and the outlook of all Idaho college and career counselors and advisors. So if that's something you might be interested in, please do check that out. And thank you for hanging in there with us as we run over time a bit. Jenny, you were actually an ambassador last year. Can you recommend the experience?
Yeah, thanks, Joan. Yes, I was a Next Steps Idaho ambassador actually for 2 years for Region 3. And I would just encourage you, if you are kind of considering it, thinking like, you know, I kind of want to get more involved. I'd love to meet people who are doing the work that I'm doing. This is just a great way to, I think, really get connected with your fellow peers and to be able to provide some really relevant information for people in your region. I think you all know that, like, you know your job better than anyone else. Because your job is so unique. And so sometimes these trainings or these conferences, like are created by people who've never done your job. And so the great thing about being an ambassador is you know what's needed. And so you can really help guide what happens in your region, and you can mentor some other counselors and advisors who maybe are early or new in the profession. So it's a great opportunity. If you have questions, I would love to answer any of those. You can always email me separately. All right, well, we just want to thank you so much. We apologize that we did go a little bit over time. I know we just threw a ton of information at you. Like I said, we will be, this is being recorded, so we will post it on the website. But if there's anything that you had questions about that you did not get a chance or didn't feel like you could ask in this format, please follow up with us. We are so always happy to be of assistance. But we want to wish you the best start to the year. We hope that this is a great week and a great fall season, and we're excited to be working with you all.